going to give away coal, I'm going to give away coffee, and I'm going to give away cash. Coal for the people that have been jackasses. Coffee for a team that needs to get off their ass regardless of injury and wake up. And cash, of course, for those that, well, have earned it. Let's go first to coal. Bill Belichick. Now, you got to understand something about Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is one of those sneaky guys. Like, Bill Belichick gets points across without saying much. Belichick does a press conference, but he's always thinking about how to get something to his team. We're not thinking about next week, whatever. Belichick, after the Colts-Patriots game, went typical Belichick, and I'm not criticizing him. I'm admiring this, even though I'm giving him coal. After the game, there was a video of a fight that got two players ejected, one for the Patriots and Michael Pittman Jr. for the Colts. And frankly, Michael Pittman Jr. should never have been ejected. I mean, he got jumped in the middle of Lucas Oil Stadium by two dudes, one from behind, one from on top. And in the ensuing melee, Pittman's helmet comes off. It's crazy. It's literally like if you're walking down New York City and two dudes jumped you. And then all of a sudden a pile got some for you and some for the dudes that jumped you. Well, in the middle of it, you can see T.Y. Hilton, wide receiver for the Colts, kind of pulling people off. And at one point, he pulls a guy off kind of like this, where he's kind of turned, and it's the referee. Now, it wasn't brought up during the broadcast. I didn't know anything about it, and I pay attention. But the truth of the matter is he did put his hands on a referee. Nothing was done to T.Y. Hilton. So as Belichick did what coaches now do, which is defend his player, he said, well, I don't know why T.Y. Hilton wasn't ejected. Shut up. He's telling the league he wants Hilton ejected. He's doing what a lot of people on the Democratic side do, and they're doing it right now with the Epstein trial. They're deflecting. Don't deflect. Actually, Republicans do it too, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't deflect. Your players acted like punks jumping Michael Pittman Jr. after a scrum broke out between Pittman Jr. and your player. But all of a sudden, to come out and say and whine, well, T.Y. Hilton should have been ejected too. I give you coal. I give you coal. And you know what? When I give you coal, that matters. It's right. This isn't just some show giving you coal. I put the malacca on you and on your team. Watch what happens to the Patriots from this point on. You don't whine about stuff like that. You walk like a man. All right, you want some cash? I'm going to give you cash to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor gets cash. Jonathan Taylor's going to make a lot of money. Jonathan Taylor, the running back for the Colts, was the leading vote getter for the Pro Bowl. Jonathan Taylor and Tom Brady yesterday were announced as guys that got into the Pro Bowl. Jonathan Taylor has emerged as the best running back. Now, you can say Derrick Henry's hurt, and that's fine. I'll go 1 and 1A, however you want to go about it. But more than that, every kid out there, every parent out there, every coach out there should use Jonathan Taylor as an example. Watch Hard Knocks tomorrow night, and you're going to see Jonathan Taylor as the most humble, coachable, great player in the NFL. I've had him on my radio show. He's not good. He's great. He's fantastic. He is the most humble, unassuming. Now, you got to understand, a lot of people, a lot of athletes say what they could have done. Like Randy Moss says, well, I could have played in the NFL. No. Jonathan Taylor was accepted to Harvard. Now, walking into the house just now, the house that I'm at, is a student athlete at Harvard named Tegan Shaw, a stud student athlete at Harvard named Tegan Shaw. She's the lovely Lee Ross Shaw Dakich's daughter. We know how hard it is to get into Harvard. Like, I don't think Tegan's ever gotten a B. I don't think Tegan's ever done anything but, like, I don't know, What's the highest you can get on the SAT? 1,600. I think she got 1,600 or close. Hard to get into Harvard. A lot of people say, well, I got into Harvard. One of the reasons I went and played basketball for Bobby Knight and went to Indiana at the time was I didn't want to tell people, well, I could have gone to Indiana as I played at the Coast Guard or something. No, it's hard to get into Harvard. And Jonathan Taylor got into Harvard. Jonathan Taylor is a great human being, a great person, a great example, and a great running back. I want my daughter, stepdaughter, hell, I'll take my wife marrying Jonathan Taylor. That's how good a dude I think he is. He gets cash. Steve Kerr. Now, I'm tired of Steve Kerr, but I'm going to give Steve Kerr cash. Steve Kerr, because he's a nice guy, because he's on the right side of the media, has been the guy that has gotten the best jobs in every sport that he's been involved in. Think about this. Michael Jordan's sidekick. Couple championships. Tim Duncan's sidekick. Couple championships. Then he goes into broadcasting without ever having broadcast. And he gets the CBS plum job in college basketball, which is the NCAA Final Four and championship game. And I thought he was damn good at it. Then from there, he gets the best job in the NBA, coaching Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Steve Kerr was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Some say a horseshoe in his ass, but I would rather say silver spoon. But I also think he's worked at it. Now Steve Kerr is the head coach of the USA basketball program, which means he's our Olympic coach. Think about that. How great is that? Now, Steve Kerr wears my ass out with his smug politicalism. We all have to agree with Steve Kerr and Popovich, or else we're all stupid and they're all smart. And they can kiss my ass with that. But the truth of the matter is, I applaud Steve Kerr, and I give Steve Kerr cash because Steve Kerr has managed to turn a good career into a great career in basketball, a great career in broadcasting into a great gig. He'll end up in the Hall of Fame. It's pretty good when you really think about it. And all the way through, seems like a pretty nice guy. I don't care for his politics, but I don't let that get in the way of giving a guy accolades and when he's going through things and being successful. I admire it. I think it's great. I got some coal to give out. The offensive staff of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars proved why the Jacksonville Jaguars are the dumbest franchise in football. The Jacksonville Jaguars fired Urban Meyer, which if you were going to fire Urban Meyer over the thing in the summer or over the thing in the bar, fine, but not because some bullshit assistant coaches are so whiny, bitchy that they wanted the head coach out. And I'm looking right at you, Darrell Bevell. I'm looking at the offensive staff. And here's why Jacksonville's so stupid. Jacksonville's so stupid that the owner and the GM actually did this. They elevated the guys that were the problem with the franchise to begin with. They elevated those guys. They, as Jimmy Johnson said, backstabbing bullshit coaches got Urban Meyer fired. And they elevated the little pain in the ass backstabbers. It's amazing to me that Shad Khan is that stupid. Now, it's not comfortable for a lot of people in the media to be, well, I don't know, on Urban Meyer's side. But Jimmy Johnson ain't wrong. Jimmy Johnson isn't wrong at all. The coaches for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the offensive coaches, were complete little pains in the ass. There were 5 guys in the room, 5, when Urban Meyer ripped them. And if you don't think they should be ripped, then you're out of your mind. Brian Schottenheimer, Tyler Bowen, Quentin Gather, Will Haringer, they weren't in the room. George Warpark, Sanjay Lal, Sanjay Lal, the old wide receiver coach, he was in the room. I'm not sure exactly the five, but I'm looking at their offensive coaches, and Jimmy Johnson ain't wrong. Sanjay Lal. You look at Sanjay Lal, he's been a lot of places, man. I remember when he was in Indy. The Indy Star, I think, did a big article on him. Okay. All right. The offensive coaches of the Jacksonville Jaguars are snakes. And because they're snakes, and because in every industry, every single one, Tegan, I just talked about you, cheating prevails. Being a snake is the way to go. Being a victim sells. The offensive coaches then got elevated, and Darrell Bevell led their team to as horseshit a performance as you're ever going to see. Jimmy Johnson ain't wrong. Those snakes on the offensive side of the ball will get what's coming to them. Some dumbass will hire them, and they'll do the same thing to some coach. I'll give you a hint. If you want to hire any of these offensive coaches from the Jacksonville Jaguars, do yourself a favor. Call Urban Meyer first before you do. And learn what's real. I say this all the time. There is always a backstory. Always. What you read ain't what it is. There's a backstory. Agents. Look at this. I got a Harvard grad swimming across. You can get in the picture. What are you doing? Although she's not a grad yet. The offensive coaches, you get Cole. What a bunch of bags. All right. A little bit of coffee for a team. How about we have a little bit of coffee? Just a little bit. My favorite coach, my favorite team to just pay attention to, my kids' team, Harvard softball or Elon basketball, is UConn women's basketball. I don't like the little comer-upper. I like the dynasty. And there's been no bigger dynasty than UConn women basketball. UConn women basketball had an injury to their best player. I got two words for you. Wham. You're UConn women's basketball. True story. At Bowling Green, I lost my best player, my best two players, 7 of the 10 years I was the head coach. Okay? I lost my best 3 players 5 of the 10 years that I was at Bowling Green as the head coach. So I don't want to hear about injuries. For the first time since 2005, UConn women's basketball, and this is amazing to me, is outside the top 10. Think about that. It's 2021. It's 2021, and these women have been so dominant, so great. And Gino Auriemma has been such a great coach that for the first time since 2005, they're out of the top 10. I didn't say top 20. I didn't say top 25. I said top 10. It's the greatest run. There's never been a better coach than Gino Auriemma. It's not like there's beaches or anything to attract you to Stores, freaking Connecticut. It's not like this is a hotbed. I mean, damn, it's a nice campus. It's great, wonderful. But what Gino Auriemma has done is amazing. Women of UConn, I ain't mad at you. Get yourself some coffee, sack the hell up, don't at me, and get rocking and rolling like UConn women's basketball should be rocking and rolling. Come on. I want to root for you. I like everything about you. You got your best player hurt. Fine. Deal with it. I guarantee you, every one of you was best player at some point somewhere. You're not going to UConn if you're just okay. UConn women, I'm giving you some coffee. UConn women, let's go. UConn women, I'm still behind you. I think you're great. Keep being great.